Right now at 5, KDOT hosts a meeting to gather public input on the future of Highway 69.
Now we've got another morning of some patchy fog here and there, and then we could see another pop-up storm or two, and temperatures starting to get a bit on the hot side. Latest on that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the city of Pittsburgh discusses an $80,000 loan for the development of a new bar and food truck park.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. How about that?
We are, yes.
You know, when you're waiting for something, sometimes the week goes by really slow.
Yeah.
Sometimes even when you're not waiting for something, the week goes by kind of slow.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be one of those weeks, you know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I guess we'll have to see. I don't know.
It's so weird how the passage of time is different from person to person. Even in the same area.
Right.
You know, I've had days where the morning show goes by like that, and for Elise, she's like, boy, this was the longest day ever. And then it switches. You never know how that works. It's always interesting, the perception of time.
Indeed.
And our perception of heat. It's not going to be so good. It's going to start to get hot across the area. Temperatures getting closer to normal. Thankfully this morning, another pretty decent one, a little bit on the muggy side. Let's start with a look outside. From our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin, we've got clear skies out there. We had an isolated pop-up shower storm yesterday. Had a couple of them a little earlier than expected. So I'm going to tell you right now, I just want to be right up with you. The future track data is almost identical to yesterday. It's showing between 3 and 7, but yesterday, we did see a couple of pop-up showers and storms around the noon hour, so can't rule that out, but at least right at this point, future track suggesting once again in that 3 to 7 zone. Our camera 7th in range line also looking pretty good this morning, and we're looking all right from the MoDOT camera. 32nd in range line, looking back to the south. We're dry. We are a little bit muggy. We do have some patchy fog here and there. Thankfully, not as intense as what we've seen the last couple of days, but just keep that in mind. So here's the future track as we head into the afternoon, and if you look, you can see these patchy little showers, maybe a thunderstorm between between 3 and 7, and then they'll start to clear on out of here like they did yesterday. 68 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures across the region this morning. Again, most of us still were below normal technically. We're mid-upper 60s across the area, but as you can see, we're a little warmer. We had a lot of low 60s yesterday. Not the case today. Our high is about average. We're going to go right around 90 degrees. We'll have that chance once again for an isolated pop-up shower or storm. It will clear out again once we head into the overnight hours tonight. Got a little bit better chance of some rain on Friday. I mean, a little bit better. And we're still watching that potential for dangerous heat next week. Break down all the details for you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right. Thanks, Chris. The city of Pittsburgh yesterday approved an $80,000 loan for the development of a new bar. The loan will go to Blue Spoon Properties, LLC, to transform the old Spicer Adams welding building at 415 East 4th Street into a new bar called the Balkan and Canary Lounge. Officials say it will include a food truck park, a stage and projector screen, and an upscale speakeasy-style bar. The money comes from the city's revolving loan fund, and one of the concerns brought up during the meeting was parking. Still, the city rejected a request for $10,000 to add parking along Grand Street. Well, yesterday, residents and stakeholders gathered at Pittsburgh's Memorial Auditorium to discuss their thoughts about the future of Highway 69. After a freeway project with plans to expand the highway on the western alignment was canceled in 2023, KDOT asked the public to attend one of several open houses and voice their opinion about future plans. KDOT says the plan is to hear opinions, positive or negative, from citizens before they determine the future of US 69.
When we moved forward last year or 2 years ago to try to continue the upgrade of the freeway, we've heard the public didn't want us to do a freeway anymore, more or less, right? So now what do you want us to do for the Crawford County corridor of the existing US 69 corridor?
KDOT says the purpose of listening to the public opinion is to come up with a solution that will increase the safety and functionality of Highway 69 for decades to come. And if you missed yesterday's open house, you have 2 more chances today from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Frontenac, and then from 4 to 6 p.m. at Northeast High School in Arma. MoDOT is seeking public input for an I-44 corridor ecosystem study as part of their Forward 44 project. They held a meeting at the Joplin Public Library for residents to give their opinions on a wide variety of topics from the road safety to traffic congestion and more. The Forward 44 project aims to map out the best path forward to update and improve the road.
One of the things that we hear a lot about I-44 is congestion. We hear about capacity challenges, especially through Springfield area, the Springfield Metro. We hear a lot of challenges with congestion. We also hear about reliability challenges, during certain parts of the day, 44 gets backed up.
For more information, you can head to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Quapaw Nation and Ottawa County 911 Authority cut the ribbon for their new dispatch center. The new dispatch center uses technology to make their response times faster and more efficient. KOAM's Melissa Alexis shows us.
You can now actually video chat with your dispatcher.
The Quapaw Nation and Ottawa County debuted their new 911 dispatch center in Miami. The new dispatch center uses technology to receive not just emergency phone calls, but also photos, texts, and videos of the emergency.
We can send videos, we can take pictures, we can hide the video if we ever needed to. With this too, we can also message back and forth, a silent chat, so it won't make their phone or anything go off.
Valerie Barger, the telecommunications manager, says the video information can be crucial for responding accurately to an emergency.
Central Dispatch.
Someone says a vehicle is on fire. So you dispatch that as a vehicle on fire. But what the person didn't tell you is that vehicle is in between 2 houses. So if you can ask them for video of that, that allows the firefighters to know, hey, that's probably going to be a structure fire within the next few minutes.
With this new system, they're able to receive emergency texts, which benefit people who are in emergencies where they can't speak out loud. This new technology also allows them to pinpoint location of an emergency faster and more reliably.
If they were traveling, we'd get a little breadcrumb, which is just like little dots, being able to follow them wherever they go. With that, in the area that we are, it gives us our first responding agencies.
Taryn Solzing, a telecommunicator at the 911 Dispatch Center, says she looks forward to better serving the community, including those who may have had a language barrier, as their new technology addresses this concern.
Language detection now. So if they were speaking Spanish, it would pop up and it would have translation.
The telecommunications manager says that this new technology allows for faster dispatch time, and she says that in an emergency, every second counts to save a life. Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
This collaborative dispatch center is a project between Quapaw Nation, the city of Miami, and Ottawa County, and it's the first collaborative dispatch center between tribal and city governments in Northeast Oklahoma. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Joplin Outlaws hope to continue their hot streak at home. We have the details. Plus, France's Air Force will be patrolling the skies over Paris during the Summer Olympic Games. And we have a hot and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Yesterday was the MIAA Media Day in downtown Kansas City. All 10 schools that are members of the conference bring their head coach and a couple of players to speak to the media for the first time this season. Pittsburgh State enters the fall with a new head coach, but the same high expectations.
The senior leadership we have on this team has made this transition, coaching changes and the new offense so much easier. Just credit to the guys and how they've handled everything. And we got a lot of guys that decided to come back this year for their last year, put their lives on hold and come back and say, hey, let's go give it one more shot.
Every year, like you said, is a fresh start, and it'll be different, having Coach Anthony as our head coach instead of Coach Wright. I'm a little biased. Obviously, having a defensive-minded head coach is a little bit more fun for me, but no, he's came in and done a great job for the team. We have a great connection throughout the group, and we're ready to get started rolling into fall camp and then get ready for Fair State.
That group's really special to me. When we got there, when Coach Wright and I got there in December of 2019, that was a group that had just come in. A lot of those guys were redshirt freshmen going into their redshirt freshman year, or guys that were in our first recruiting class, and those guys made the choice to kind of stay with us and buy into our culture and buy into what we're doing. So being able to lean on those guys here is my first time back as a first-time head coach is just kind of a special time for me to get to bond with those guys again.
Missouri Southern football enters its 5th season under head coach Atiba Bradley. The Lions are looking to turn the corner as a program after finishing with a 5-6 record in 2023.
This is a group that just goes to work. We were commenting like, oh, the summer is almost over. A lot of these guys never left. They stayed, they trained. So the break got really short just because these guys were hungry to get back at it, and that's exciting to see because it's not something I prompted. It's not something our coaches told them. It came internally from the seniors and the upperclassmen, so it's always a positive sign to see.
I think we're going to be very explosive, something that we've been missing in the past a little bit. I think we got a lot of weapons in the receiver room, a lot of young guys that's going to step up, a couple transfers that's going to make some plays for us. We get a couple guys back on offense. Our O-line has a lot of experience. They'll be a good tested group. And then, of course, we got Luke Sampson throwing the ball, so anytime he's throwing the ball, you got a chance to get it anywhere on the field.
I am really looking forward to how our O-line does this year. We handled business last year. I personally, this might be biased, but I think we're the best in the MIAA. But I'm really ready to see how we come together as a group and how we can push the offense.
The MIAA football preseason polls were also released yesterday morning. Pittsburg State comes in at 2 in both the media and coaches poll, behind first place selection Central Missouri in each poll. Missouri Southern is in the 8th spot in both polls. UCM and Pitt State are the only 2 teams to receive first place votes. Well, Joplin Outlaws at home against the Fort Smith Marshals last night. Winners of 3 in a row. One of their newest additions, Johnny Miles, was last night's starting pitcher. He gets 3 swinging strikeouts in the first couple of innings. So we go no score, bottom of the 3rd. And Ravon Morgan hits a line drive into right field. Andre Jackson comes around from second to score. Joplin opens a 3-0 lead. Back to Miles on the mound in the 4th. He gets another batter swinging. Then with runners in scoring position, a called strike 3. And he has words for the batter afterwards. Bottom of the inning, Andre Jackson uses his speed to beat out a throw from second and earns an infield single. We go later in the frame. Jackson scores from third on a passed ball. Joplin Outlaws go on to win this one with a final score of 10-9. Still to come, a new model of healthcare is making a difference by providing medical aid to pets and their owners. Plus, got another check of that forecast and the hot temperatures on the way when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:18, almost 5:19 on this Wednesday morning. We're starting with the fog trackers. We kind of have been in the last few days. Thankfully, as you can see, we do still have some patchy fog and some reduced visibility. It's drove down to 4 miles out there, but nothing like what we've seen the last couple of days. The fog isn't as dense out there across the region, but still patchy dense fog possible. Just make sure you slow down if you run into any of that and use your low beams, not your high beams. On the future track today, very similar to yesterday, anywhere between 3 and 7, showing the opportunity for very isolated, very short-lived pop-up showers and storms. But just as a note, yesterday, Future Track showed the same data between 3 and 7, but we started seeing some of them as early as the noon hour. So I'm going to say it's not entirely out of the question, but again, just based on the model data, it looks like another repeat of that 3 to 7 time frame. We go into Thursday. It's a much more isolated chance, but as you can see, it's there again, and here we are at 3 o'clock. So we'll see exactly how the pop-up storms pan out, but between 3 and 7 tomorrow, we could see an isolated pop-up shower or storm. Now, Friday, while the chance isn't significantly greater, it's a little better for some isolated showers and storms. So take a look, and this is actually showing them by noon on Friday, we could see some pop-up showers and storms. And as you can see, there's a few more of them out there. It's still not a lot. And it's almost like when they run into the 69 corridor, there's just a drop-off because they kind of fizzle out at that point. But between noon and even as late as 9, 10 o'clock, we could still see some additional pop-up showers and storms. So at least a few rain chances out there. The only unfortunate side, of course, with the pop-up storms, they need that humidity, they need dew points up there. It's going to be muggy even for those who don't get rain. 68 in Joplin, that's what we're talking about even now. 90% humidity, dew points at 65, so it is a bit sticky out there this morning. Around the area, we're already up to 70 in Stockton. Initially, though, we were all below 70, so that's, again, our overnight lows officially for record-keeping purposes, being below normal, but we have a lot more mid-upper 60s, not seeing nearly as many low 60s this morning as our warming trend continues. Sunny through the morning, a little warmer again, low 80s by 11 o'clock. Highs about normal, right around 90, but again, it's going to be muggy out there. Isolated shower or storm is possible. Then, like yesterday, skies clear out, a lot closer to normal tonight as well as we fall back to about 69. Temperatures, again, warmer. Then with those rain chances Friday, Saturday, does knock us down a little bit, but it is short-lived. Still looking at temperatures going back mid-upper 90s, getting close to 100 by next week. So a lot to keep an eye on with the potential for dangerous heat returning. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. West Virginia has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to temporarily block new rules from the Environmental Protection Agency. This request from West Virginia's Attorney General and those of more than 20 other Republican states seeks to freeze the changes until the matter is resolved in federal court. The new rules call for existing coal and new natural gas power plants to capture or cut 90% of their climate pollution by the year 2032. According to the filing, the challengers say implementing these rules would be too expensive and could cause plants to shut down entirely. Well, forever chemicals are estimated to be in the blood of 98% of Americans, and now researchers say they found another reason why they are so prevalent in our system. PFAS, known as forever chemicals because of how long they stay in the human body, have now been found in the everyday food we eat. A new study looked at how much of the chemical is in pesticides used in agriculture, and researchers found that apples, corn, kale, spinach, strawberries, and wheat are frequently sprayed with PFAS-containing pesticides. And they say those pesticides are applied to tens of millions of farm fields across the U.S. The study says PFAS pesticides are also used in insect-killing sprays in homes and flea treatments for pets. It's a positive collaboration. A new model of healthcare is making a difference, providing medical aid to pets and their owners. The Humane Animal Rescue of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the Allegheny Health Network have teamed up, offering the routine services for both. Alexander Todd has more.
This mobile veterinary van and medical clinic in Braddock, Pennsylvania,
yeah, you're the most important, huh?
Are treating 2- and 4-legged patients.
We know that people who have pets, they do for their pets what they won't necessarily do for themselves.
They get what they need first, and then me. I can do my stuff afterward.
The Humane Health Coalition is a partnership of Allegheny Health Network and Humane Animal Rescue of Pittsburgh. Last fall, for the humans, the mobile clinic added HIV, Hep C testing, vision exams, distribution of food, hygiene products, and clothing, while offering housing resources.
It's a way in which we can start to tackle some of the healthcare needs of people who have healthcare gaps.
They have social workers who have similar personal experiences that make the process less daunting.
It's important to meet people where they are, right? And if you're a good listener, your community will tell you what their needs are.
Kristen Yoder was homeless for 2 years. After she and her pets received care, she was finally able to get an apartment.
We didn't have a way to get to regular vet or get checkups or the shots that we needed. We had been bounced around. So this was very, very handy.
So far, they have hosted a dozen mobile health clinics reaching hundreds of dogs, cats, and their owners.
We offer spay and neuter vouchers, which helps the pet population. We offer microchips, which helps if a dog gets lost.
Because if the owner's not good, the pet's not going to be good because the owner's not able to give the pet the love that it needs.
Organizers are hopeful this program will serve as a model and spread to other cities around the country. Alexandra Todd, CBS News, Braddock, Pennsylvania.
The initiative based on the CDC's One Health model of care, which stresses that the health of people is closely connected to the health of animals and environment. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And temperatures continuing to heat up and maybe another isolated shower or storm. Latest on that forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, some local county officials are testing their voting equipment ahead of election season.
And it's a bit on the muggy side out there. Temperature's still reasonable, but hot conditions on the way. Maybe another isolated shower or storm. Take a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, members of 4-H and the FFA show off their livestock and hard work at the Labette County Fair.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday, July the 24th. And of course, we're live on KOAM and streaming on KOAM Plus.
Yes.
At your convenience. That's
As
the
always,
thing.
yes.
And that's something too, how things have evolved to the point that the news, even your local, like national news is one thing, you know,
Yes.
they have money and millions of dollars and whatever. But even your local TV station is here at your convenience. You can either wake up early or you can sleep in a little bit.
And that's what we should do. And that's what we should be doing. Absolutely.
You know what? I tell you what, why don't we just take the show to somebody's house? We'll just wake you up. We'll knock on your door at 5 a.m. We'll do the show from your house. We'll make breakfast for you and we'll wake you up right.
You've got a plan.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we'll do. Chris. Maybe one day, maybe not. Let's start with the look outside from our camera at 7th and Range Line. So again, it's a bit muggier this morning. If you walk outside, the temperatures are still all right, but the air is still a little thicker out there. And otherwise, we've got clear skies. Looking good from the MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range Line as well. Fog tracker, again, down to 4 miles visibility in Grove. We've still got patchy fog across the area, but so far this morning hasn't been as dense as what we've seen the last couple of days. As we go into the afternoon, like yesterday, we could see an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Whatever we see today is going to be very isolated and very short-lived. And again, the best window, like yesterday, is looking to be between 3 and 7. But we did see a couple of storms earlier than that, so just be aware, a stray shower storm possible. 68 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh. So again, the temperatures are okay, but it's still a bit muggy. As you also notice, not that many low 60s. We had a lot of low 60s in our northern counties yesterday. Not the case today. Mid-upper 60s and already up to 70 in Stockton. That's ahead of highs about normal today. We'll go right around 90. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon, and again, maybe an isolated shower or storm. We do have a couple of days with slightly better shower and thunderstorm chances out there, and unfortunately, that dangerous heat still showing up on the long-range data too. We'll break down the full forecast for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Chris. Well, before election season gets into full swing, some local county officials are testing their voting equipment. Jasper County hosted a public test of its voting equipment yesterday at the Jasper County Courthouse. For Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis, the test provides a way to ensure the equipment works properly well in advance of the next big election.
Hand counts, and when we do that, that shows that the machine's actually counted correctly, because we want people to understand when they go and they feed their ballot through the machine, their ballot is going to count, their vote is going to count. We're one of the only countries in the world that have the constitutional right to vote, and if we can get our voters to understand that it is accurate and their vote does count.
We provided a link to the Jasper County's ballot samples on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Dairy Queen in Joplin hosted a pretty cool event yesterday. Children's Miracle Network local champion 8-year-old Vincent Wilkowski stopped by to make his signature blizzard, the Vincent Blizzard. For Vincent's mother, the Children's Miracle Network has made a world of difference in their lives.
Vincent was born early with clubfoot, so we traveled to St. Louis
a lot, and he's had multiple surgeries, and Vincent also has seizures. Because of Children's Miracle Network, we're able to make the trips to St. Louis, and also Vincent has a seizure monitor. They've helped us with seizure medicine. Because of them, I'm able to sleep at night.
This Thursday, $1 or more from every purchased Blizzard from the Joplin location will be donated to Freeman Health System, a member hospital of Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Members of 4-H and the FFA showed off their livestock and hard work this week at the Labette County Fair. Yesterday, exhibitors presented poultry and cattle, and the fair is a way for participants to enjoy community engagement.
These kids work really hard at what they do, and it's a long week. Usually it's really hot, and so we want to support them in any way we can.
The fair concludes this Friday with a livestock auction at 4 p.m. Area band camps have started tuning up in preparation for the upcoming school year. Yesterday, Wyandotte, Oklahoma hosted its band camp. We sent KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks to hear it all come together.
So this morning we pulled out some music and we took a look at just some stand tunes, just because most of us haven't played over the summer. And we took a look at the national anthem because it's a new version for them. Not for me, but for them. Most for these kids is that they love music, that they feel that this room, band, choir, whatever, is a safe place for them. And that the skills that they learn, the teamwork, the reliance on each other, the ability to follow directions will carry them through life for their jobs, wherever they go once they leave here, they will have those skills.
I participate in band because I enjoy playing and creating music, as well as supporting the school in football and basketball. Quads is kind of a way for me to really get out all the energy I have and still make good music with my friends.
It was my safe place. I was in band starting in 6th grade, and I found my family. It was my tribe.
My hopes for this season is that we can have as much, if not more fun, while still sounding good, if not even better, than previous years. There's always room for improvement, and I believe this group has the talent to do so.
And so I want students to have a place that they can discover who they are, where they belong, what their gifts are, and it's my happy place, and I want to share that.
We'll be diving into other area band camps later this week. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A caravan of some 2,000 migrants is advancing through southern Mexico towards the U.S. Plus, Israel's prime minister's visit to Washington is already leading to protests over his handling of the war. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch. Snipers and helicopters and attack drones will be patrolling the skies over Paris during the Summer Olympic Games. France's Air Force, which is in charge of securing the airspace over the French capital during the Games, is gearing up to deploy across the region. The operation has been years in the making and involves hundreds of members, both in the air and on the ground. The Brigadier General in charge of the operation says the biggest security risk is the Games' opening ceremony, which includes an over 3-mile-long procession of boats along the Seine River. A caravan of some 2,000 migrants is advancing through southern Mexico towards the U.S. The group's trek began last weekend and could be the last chance for some to reach the U.S. border before the November election, when many migrants fear new restrictions could be enforced if Donald Trump is reelected. The former president has pledged mass deportations and has said there's a, quote, invasion happening at the southern border. Word of the caravan spread through social media and formed just as President Biden announced his decision to drop out of the 2024 race. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in Washington to speak with lawmakers and meet with President Biden and Vice President Harris. His visit is already leading to protests over his handling of the war in Gaza. Rebecca Castor has the latest from our nation's capital, where security measures are ramping up.
More than 100 demonstrators taking over the rotunda of a Capitol building on Tuesday to protest the war in Gaza. Capitol Police quickly stepped in and made arrests. But larger demonstrations are expected Wednesday when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaks to Congress, an address lawmakers have mixed reactions about.
I'm not going.
I will never be supporting him.
I am not attending. I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu has any interest in getting to peace in the Middle East.
I think anytime a leader of one of our allies is speaking to Congress, we should all be there.
Israel is our closest ally. I'm looking forward to the Prime Minister's address.
In preparation for Netanyahu's visit, police have significantly boosted security around the Capitol building and recruited outside help.
You swear or affirm? You swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution.
More than 200 NYPD officers were sworn in as U.S. Capitol Police special officers on Tuesday.
Unfortunately, because of the environment that we're in, the additional security measures have had to be put in place.
Netanyahu plans to check all his boxes while in the U.S. After a speech to Congress, he'll meet with President Biden at the White House Thursday and have a separate meeting with Vice President Harris. Then Friday, he'll travel to Mar-a-Lago to sit down with former President Trump. Prime Minister Netanyahu met with the families of hostages on Monday and indicated their release and a ceasefire deal could happen soon. Talks are expected to resume later this week.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:45 on this Wednesday morning. We're starting to get with the fog tracker. We still have some patchy fog out there, getting a little dense down south around Grove and Anderson. So do be aware of that. We have some slightly reduced visibilities in other communities, but thankfully we're not dealing with the same amount of dense fog that we've seen the last couple of mornings across the area. Now, I've been mentioning it, but just throwing it out there. Yesterday, Future Track showed storms between 3 and 7, at least isolated ones. We actually ended up seeing some as early as noon. Future Track today is doing the same thing. We're going to throw that out there. We could see a couple earlier than that, but it is putting them in the same time frame of that 3 to 7 o'clock range for some isolated shower and thunderstorm activity. As you see on the Future Track, it's extremely isolated and very short-lived. This process will repeat again tomorrow. In fact, it will repeat the next few days out there. So between 3 and 7 tomorrow, maybe even as early as 2, we could see another isolated shower or thunderstorm, and then as you see, they're A, very isolated, and B, relatively short-lived. Now, as we go into Friday, though, by noon, we start to see an opportunity for pop-up showers and storms, but we may see a few more of them. They're still relatively isolated out there. Not everybody will see rain, but at least there's some better chances, and there'll be a bit more cloud cover. So believe it or not, we're actually going to fall back below normal for a couple of days, and then we're going to start to really heat up after that as we head into the weekend and next week. All right, in Joplin right now, the skies are clear. It's 68, but it is muggy out there. If you walk outside, the air temperature's fine, but it does feel a bit sticky. Around the area, temperatures did fall once again below normal. Our average low right around the 70-degree mark, so Stockton's come back up to 70. As you see, we've also got mid-upper 60s. There's really not many or any low 60-degree readings this morning, like we've seen the last couple of mornings as well. Sunny through the morning, low 80s by 11 o'clock. So again, it's a gradual warm-up that we're facing here. We'll go right about normal, 90 for our high. Partly cloudy skies, again, an isolated pop-up storm or two. It's also going to be muggy, so we're talking heat index values into the low 90s. Skies clear once again in the late evening hours, and overnight, we're back close to normal again, upper 60s, right around 70 for our overnight low. Pop-up storm chances, as we showed you on Future Track, will be a little better Friday and into Saturday, and with the cloud cover, it knocks us back down a little below normal. But again, that is short-lived. As we head into next week, still looking at the potential for dangerous heat as temperatures climb into the upper 90s, pushing close to 100. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, they may have built it for an 80s movie, but the Field of Dreams in Iowa is making real-life dreams come true. The movie set turned real-life baseball field hosted a special night of play for a good cause. Keegan Turnbaugh has the story.
Today's tournament gives children and adults with disabilities a chance to live out a dream. Danny Hall and his teammates from Pittsburgh visited the Field of Dreams earlier this week.
Yeah, we got to go into the court and walk out like we were movie stars. It was so much fun.
During a game earlier today, Hall says he hit a home run. And he was one of the first players to mob his teammate, who caught the game-clinching out.
It's been my dream to play baseball. I love the sport. I get to make new friends and stuff. And we're like a big family.
Hall's experience is one of many and represents Miracle League's motto: everyone should get a chance to play baseball.
No matter what your ability is, so whether you have special needs or whatever, if you're older, if you're younger, we have kids that are super young, and we have adults that are older that have been with us since they were kids.
Sean Casey, a former Cincinnati Reds All-Star, founded the Miracle League of South Hills. He says Tuesday night's Field of Dreams games will be unforgettable.
If you're having a tough day and you want to find some joy and some gratitude, these Miracle Leagues are the place to go, because these kids and these athletes have true joy for the game and life, and it brings communities together, and I just think it's a wonderful place.
After the games, the teams take part in an award ceremony.
Also happening in Iowa, the 51st annual Des Moines Register's annual Great Bicycle Ride across Iowa is underway. On day 2 of the trek, thousands of riders spent a little downtime in the city of Atlantic. That's where they interacted with locals and experienced the hospitality of that part of the Hawkeye State. Ophelia Jacobson reports.
With a poster and pen in hand,
would you guys like to sign where you're from?
Gracelyn Larson is on a mission to meet as many people as she can and learn where they're from.
This is a small town, so we usually don't get to do stuff like this all the time.
Larson and other Dance Atlantic members are on another mission too.
Trying to raise money for dance competition fees and nationals.
Selling waters, pickles, juice, and bananas to the thousands of visitors in their hometown. Cyclists crowded Atlantic's town square Monday afternoon. Bicycles lined the streets as people cooled off in the shade after day 2 of the 51st annual RAGBRAI. Thousands of cyclists will camp overnight here in Atlantic, and many of them have set up their tents right in front of the high school for their stay in town.
We've had great weather. The hills have been tough, but doable.
Sarah Surrey traveled from Chicago for the ride. She's riding tandem with her dad across the state.
Once you get moving together, you can go a lot faster than I can go by myself, especially going downhill.
They completed 40 miles Monday and have 82 on Tuesday. It's her first time on the ride.
I think that's part of the charm of RAGBRAI, is it shows off the different towns in Iowa.
It's been awesome, except we could use a little more breeze.
It's also Leon Claude's first time chartering for the ride. He and his friends are taking care of 30 riders this week.
We fill the shower bags from this tank.
Claude says Atlantic has been a great stop.
And everyone's been very friendly, very friendly.
And it's that kindness that this group of girls hopes to spread. One signature.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And one thank you at a time.
The world's longest, oldest, and largest recreational bike ride continues its trek across Iowa this week. It all ends on Saturday, July 27th at the finish line in Burlington, Iowa. We'll be right back. Well, in Paris, France, Snoop Dogg is gearing up for his Summer Olympics debut. As torchbearer, the American favorite will carry the Olympic flame to its final stop in the town of Saint Denis before reaching the Eiffel Tower. On the social media platform X, the rapper posted a photo of himself with the caption, quote, "You ready? Paris 2024 Olympics, you dig." The opening ceremony of the games is set for Friday. We'll grab a lime and some salt. Today is National Tequila Day. Tequila is made from fermenting the juice from the blue agave plant. The plant has a core called piña because it looks a little like a pineapple. Did you know that in order to call the resulting drink tequila, it must be made from a specific area of Mexico? You can celebrate National Tequila Day with a shot or maybe make some margaritas or a tequila sunrise.
Why do we not have any tequila in this building right now? Tell me about it. Of all the people, Snoop Dogg, National Tequila Day. Come on, guys. What are we doing here? It's only Wednesday, for crying out loud. Well, yeah, tequila to kill ya. Yeah, keep that in mind. It's not good. Don't mock me. I don't drink. It's very rare when I do, and it's never a good thing when I do. All right, sunny skies as we go through the morning. Low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning as our warming trend continues. Highs about average, about 90, but heat index values go into the low 90s, and we could see once again an isolated pop-up shower or storm between about 3 and 7. Then we'll clear out again overnight, and we'll fall back into the upper 60s, right about 70, so about normal tonight. We'll go actually below normal Friday, Saturday. A few more clouds, slightly better chances of isolated shower or storm. Then after that, we start warming up. We look at that potential for dangerous heat to return again next week as temperatures climb upper 90s close to 100. So do be prepared for that. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.